Hey guys, I'm Dave with Growing the Home Garden. Today I wanted to share with you this new garden bed that I've been putting together over the last couple of weeks. It's in an area just off our front staircase and in front of our front porch, and it gets full sun almost all the time, and in Tennessee it's been really hot, so these plants have really taken some heat the last week. But what's really cool about this bed is almost all the plants except for a couple are propagated plants that I've done from stem cuttings. They either came from plants I already have in the garden or plants that I had at our previous house that I've transplanted into here. So I want to share that with you and show you how it all connects and tell you a little bit about some of the design challenges that I had to think about before I actually planted this garden bed. So let's get started and I'll show you what I've got planted here first. So this garden bed is bookended by a hydrangea here on the right. That is a limelight hydrangea. And then over on the left is one of my favorite viburnums of all time, a Shasta viburnum. And so that particular viburnum over there is also paralleled on the other side of the porch by another viburnum, so that there's a little bit of symmetry on each side of the porch. Now in this bed, it's mostly perennials, but one of the challenges that I had to think about ahead of time was this pipe right here. And you probably have one outside of your house. This is just where the sewer line comes out of the house. And we are on septic here, so there's a sewer line right there. And then it's going to come out over here into about where the grass transition is, and that's probably about where our septic tank is. So I was trying to stay on one side of the septic tank so we didn't actually put anything over top of that. Usually a septic tank is going to be made of concrete, and so stuff is just not going to grow well over it. And if you ever had a problem with your septic tank, you'd have to come in and dig it all out anyway. So we're hoping everything will be fine here, but I'm only planting things that are easily replaceable in this area. If you'll note here, I've got two plants on the side. Those are both limelight hydrangeas. Each of those came from cuttings from this limelight hydrangea right there. You can see that one is actually starting to bloom right here, but I've taken a bunch of cuttings off it this year, so I'm really not expecting a huge amount of blooms, but we're definitely getting a few started right there. That's pretty cool. Now, in the corner over here, I've got an Arborvitae. This is a emerald green Arborvitae. We had plants at our other house that had this particular Arborvitae, and this is a little plant, maybe about 8 inches tall, but they will grow quite a bit. But since I did them from cuttings, I wanted to see how quickly they would grow into this location. So on the opposite side of the bed here, I've got another Arborvitae that's going to help screen off and sort of soften the back of that brick wall right here on this side. So I've got one on this side here and one right there. I didn't want to put those type of plants in the middle because I feel like the hydrangeas, if I were to lose them, I'd be okay, because they would be easy to propagate and replace and put new ones in. Probably an easier plant to actually dig up if I ever just wanted to transplant them too. And in front of those, I just stuck an annual coleus, which was one that we had from a cutting, and just to kind of mask that pipe back there a little bit, which it's definitely not big enough to do that. I need to come in and cut that pipe down. It is way too high. It was supposed to have been done before, but it just never got finished. So some other plants here that we've done from cuttings. These are from cuttings we took this year. You see it's flowering already. That's a Salvia. It's a Caryopteris is the variety. Behind it is a Caryopteris that I did from cuttings. You can watch those videos. I'll put a link in the description for them. This is a Homestead Purple Verbena, which is a beautiful verbena. It's a ground cover type. They tend to be a little less tolerant. Sometimes they don't come back after the winter. So I do like to propagate several of them. Behind them, I planted a Russian sage, and there's a story for this. And I'll get to that in just a minute on that story, but let's go on and show you the rest of it. Here's one of those limelight hydrangeas. There's another verbena. In this area over here, we've got more of the salvias. There's 3 of them kind of in a triangle shape. And then another verbena and a couple more of those salvias. Over here is a Russian sage that's doing okay, and then back there another Caryopteris. So a lot of these plants bloom with bluish, purplish type flowers, which I kind of like that spectrum. It parallels a lot of what I've got on the other side of the garden too. For new plants, this is one we had at the other house, but I never brought a cutting over from it. I actually did make a cutting from it, but it did not make it. You can see we've got a little bit of sun damage right here, but this is a Burkwoody Viburnum, Burkwoodii. It's called Mohawk, and what I love about this one is it has very fragrant flowers in the spring, and so your whole garden will be filled up with a really nice fragrance if you plant one of these. Now behind it, we've got this little one right here, which is not really doing a whole lot right now. There you go. Black negligee simicifuga. I am probably butchering that pronunciation, but there you go. It should look really nice over time. It's another perennial. So hopefully those will all do really well here in this garden bed. And now let me get back to that story I was about to mention. So when I made this garden bed, I took the mower out, put it down to the absolute lowest setting, and scalped the area. And I made sure that the curve of the outline here for this garden bed was going to be such that a riding mower could just easily go over that curve without having to worry too much about it. The less you can do with a weed eater, trimmers, and stuff like that, the better, I think. But what happened over here is after I put the mulch down, I came in and I watered these plants here, and I gave them a dose of fish emulsion fertilizer, which is great for plants. It gives them some nitrogen and gives them a real good pick-me-up. But we're out here in the country where there's animals and critters and things that like to eat fish, and apparently I fooled an armadillo into thinking that there was something buried underneath these plants right here. And so I came out at least 2 times and this hydrangea was ripped out of the ground because something had been digging underneath it. And this Russian sage also had the same kind of treatment for it. And so I replaced them, put them back in the ground, but I don't think this Russian sage is going to make it. So I'll probably need to make another cutting or 2, or put a couple cuttings that I've got rooted into this location to try to help with that. So to prevent the armadillo from coming over here and doing this again, I took some red pepper flakes from the garden that I had a few years ago. Got some really old ones I can use for putting out for deer prevention or other types of animals. And they included some things like the ghost pepper and, you know, those really hot spicy ones. So I sprinkled that around in this area. It didn't come back. So that was great. But unfortunately, I did lose that Russian sage. I'll just go ahead and replace it with something else here before too long. So this new garden bed connects over here where I've got that limelight hydrangea, and then there's a kind of a transitional bed right in front of the staircase. Down at the bottom, there's a verbena plant, and behind it is a rosemary. That's one that I did from cuttings a while back. There's some garlic chives right here, and I plant those mostly as a preventative for deer and rabbits. There's some lantana, which is just looking amazing. I like the fiery type colors, the orange and the red. That's another one you can grow from cuttings, so I'm probably very soon I'm going to take some cuttings of this and then get ready to grow them indoors over the winter. This is a beautiful mum that should be blooming here in a little while. I cut it back a little while ago and I took cuttings. I actually made about 50 mum plants, which I still have in the flat and I need to get planted somewhere. There's more of the garlic chives. And this is a salvia that I grew from seed and planted over here just to see what it was like. You can see our little rose bush right there. Beautiful rose flowers right on it. Kind of a peach, a little bit of a pink to them. And then there's a second mum plant over here. Also took those cuttings from it. And you can see our rosemary has done really well this year. There's 2 types of rosemary. The one on the left is ARP, and the one on the right, I forget its name, but I will pop it up here on the screen. And then another lantana. And then we've got some lavender over here on the side in between the rocks and the sidewalk. So the front garden's looking really good. It's got a lot of stuff going on to it. My strategy has basically been fill up the bed so that I can minimize the mulch. And I actually did not purchase mulch this year. I probably should have bought a little bit because it would have helped with some weed prevention. But you can see here that it's growing really well. The catmint is covered in little bumblebees, and there's a clear-winged moth right there. You can see that little guy, sometimes called a hummingbird moth. But they have these clear wings. If it would ever stop, you'd be able to see that. But behind it, the autumn joy sedum is looking really good. There's verbena that's weaving in and out of things, along with some salvia. The itea is looking good. I'm going to be moving the honeysuckle to another location. I changed my mind on where it is right here, so I've got 2 plants. I'll probably dig one up this fall and move it, and leave the other one here in that spot. There's some coleus, and that coleus needs to get some cuttings taken from it, and so it can be overwintered. Earlier I mentioned that Shasta Viburnum that was kind of providing the symmetry to the other one, and that's what this one is. I took some cuttings off of it, and you might have seen it in the last video. Sometimes some of these flowers or these plants will produce another set of blooms. You can see that right here. They're beginning to do a little bit of an extra blooming, although they kind of look a little funky right now. And then over in this area, we've got the Russian sage with switchgrass right behind it. That's a Caryopteris, a sage, actual edible culinary sage right there. We've got several types of sedums. I always like this blue spruce sedum. It's just such a cool little guy. Sedum is one of those plants that you can propagate from leaves or stem cuttings or division. However you want to do it, it pretty much takes to all of them very well. And then there's some Rudbeckia. This one has done amazing. It took a while to get the bloom, but is growing great. You can see I got a little bit of a basil plant nestled in with it. A little bit more coleus right here. And you can see the crepe myrtle from that video I did a few weeks ago is blooming, looking great. So we're growing it into a tree-form crepe myrtle. And then the burgundy crepe myrtle that's in front of it that I planted last year, I'm going to dig up this fall and move it to another spot. The little spire Russian sage has gotten quite a bit of size on it, and you can see our coneflowers are looking a bit tired and probably in need of a cutback right about now. So they'll regrow some blooms. Hopefully by October be able to produce more seed for the bird. So as far as the design of this garden bed, I just needed to work around the septic area. We also had a water line that was coming in about right here. So we want to make sure that I don't plant anything here that's going to interfere with those, or anything that's going to get too large that I can't remove. I feel like both the hydrangeas, I won't have a problem with that. And as long as I keep perennials here, if I need to replace them, that's not a big deal, because most of the time I make duplicates or triplicates of my different plants here through plant propagation. So I've got them in other areas, and I can bring them all back over here if I ever needed to again. So I hope this was an enjoyable video for you, just a little bit of a quick tour of the complete front garden for now. Definitely, gardens are always a work in progress, so you're always changing things out, trying new things, adding new plants to them, or maybe taking out the stuff that you don't like anymore. So always just keep that in mind, that gardens continually change and you can always do more with them. So I'm Dave with Growing the Home Garden. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time here on Growing the Home Garden.